and welcome to your midweek messages. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of March 2022, and we're going to see what the messages are for this midweek. And I love it when they come out like that straight away. And they're all my favorites coming out. Oh my goodness me. Wow, 3 is the magic number, and oh my goodness, they are 3 major arcanic. How powerful can it be? Wow, I wasn't expecting that. I feel a little bit overwhelmed already. Right, they are a reminder. I tend to find that the midweek messages are just a little reminder, reminder that you are the creator, that you are creating in every now moment, okay, and that it's based on your frequency. And there's also a reminder that we are all on a brand new path. I mean, a brand new path. I mean, I think a lot of you know that I've recently moved location, and I'm really feeling the energy behind that. It's not just about moving location. It's about the fact that it shakes your energy up. And when your energy is shaken up like that, and you maintain that higher level, that higher perception of everything, that love, that compassion, that understanding, and that, you know, acceptance and forgiveness and all those yummy things that we work on, the non-attachment, all these spiritual lessons, as I call them, lessons in awakening, as I call them. And if you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. Glad to have you here. Check out my Lessons in Awakening, my section on this YouTube channel in Lessons in Awakening, and the self-healing ones, and then you'll have an idea of what I'm on about. But I mean, I was reading for someone yesterday who has changed location, job, and relationship status, the whole shebang. But when you can do it and embrace it beautifully, she was a complete master, and do it from a place of liberation and freedom and trust and faith, just knowing, have an inner knowing that you're being carried to, do you know what it is sometimes? Dreams that you didn't even know you had. I have to say that, because I'm experiencing that myself. Dreams that you didn't even know you had, but then when they come, or like the inspiration for them comes, or the opportunity to realize them comes into your field, then you get really excited. That's how you can tell that it's right for you. It's like Abraham Hicks says, if you're not excited, you're not on the right path. And things are coming to me. I mean, I've talked before about tarot. I mean, I steered clear of tarot, and then suddenly, out of the blue, what does that mean? Out of the blue, out of the ether, from the universe, divinely guided, I just suddenly got inspired to study it, and I just got so excited about it. So, you know, this is about releasing the expectations. We've looked at that one recently. And just going with the flow and going with your excitement. So someone said something to me recently, and it just made me excited. I was like, oh my God, that's a brilliant idea. It was an idea I hadn't had before, but as soon as it was said and it was put into my field, my heart jumped at it. And it's just projects, you know, projects or relationships or activities or avenues, I want to say avenues and channels of self-expression. Because that's what we came here to do, to experience and express who we are. So that's what I think is happening. And it does help when you have to trust. And I think this is why I was guided to do the money video as well, because a lot of people will use money as a reason not to follow that flow, whether it's because they think they need it, or they can't afford to do stuff, or they can't see what's coming. A lot of people hold on to like money because they think, well, I need it because what if? And it's like that Erin Hansen quote, isn't it? What if I fall? And then she goes, but hey, darling, what if you fly? And I think there is a non-attachment to be had there. There is an opportunity to activate your trust in the universe. It's like activating your trust in the universe, because that's how the things come. That's how miracles come. It's that faith and that trust and that inner knowing that brings those miracles. I'm seeing it with people around me and in my own life and people I read for all the time. Brand new journey. So that's what I was saying. It's a brand new journey. It might not be like just one thing that you're walking away from. You know, there is, and it could be a new avenue that you take up while still in your old job or channel or whatever, security or what have you. I'm not suggesting that if it's a relationship. Start your new relationship while you're still in the old. No, I'm not suggesting that. I was saying it in line with work-wise. If you're in a job and you want to start maybe a healing practice or a, you know, a music artistic line or something that you can't see financially supporting you, but you want to do it, that whatever that is, that's what you want to put your heart and soul in. That's what you want to put your energy in. And that's the new direction, which could well take you to a new location. It could be a new country, or it could take you out of an existing relationship. It could take you into a new relationship. It will definitely take you to higher levels of health. I want to say your health just gets better and better and better and better. Okay, because you're aligning with who you really are. And it's beautiful when that happens. And on the note of health, and I think this one's come up for me, because the devil is temptation, and we're tempted in so many different ways, aren't we? I've already talked about, you know, the temptation to stay in your comfort zone, even though your comfort zone isn't very comfortable anymore. That temptation to stick to the limiting beliefs of needing the money, needing the security, needing the relationship, needing the job, needing the things that actually are not serving you anymore. But you might not really realize that because your energy is kind of going up and down, up and down, up and down. But as it's going up and down, it's going up more than it's coming back down. So over time, you really are raising your frequency. It's happening whether you know it or not. And if you're watching this video, you're on your conscious path, which means it's amplified. When we do things consciously, the effects and the manifestations are amplified. So this is temptation to stick to our limiting beliefs. It's temptation to judge as well. That's something that I think a lot of people are working on. It's what I'm working on as well, not judging things, not seeing things as good and bad, positive or negative. Just seeing everything as it is and understanding how it's so divine as it is. That's a big ask sometimes, I have to say. I think that's a big ask when you're looking at yourself, first layer, your immediate surroundings, second layer, and the collective. And I want to say on the online collective, I think you'll find that there's a collective around you physically, but also there's a collective that we only see online. So there's kind of different layers to it. But when you can see the divinity in everyone and everything, I think that's a challenge. That's a spiritual lesson or whatever. Because I think that's important. And I think what he's saying is that we're tempted to fall back into old habits of judging, old habits of not believing that we're good enough. And for me as well, because temptation for me as well, this is about bread. So I need to set an intention of lessening or reducing or giving up bread. And there might be something in your life that you know that you need to give up. I'm a big fan of the sway test, as you know, and there are some breads actually do test positive, which is fine, but then I don't think I need to eat as much of them as I do. So there comes a time when, you know, we need to keep sway testing our foods, because as we raise our frequency, the foods that are not resonating with us anymore are going to fall away. Okay, so you might have this, you know, oh, I have a sweet tooth, or you might identify with that, or you might identify with a certain, you know, I'm a smoker, or I do like a glass of wine in the evening, you know, or I'm a chocoholic. You know, you might identify with certain things like that. So therefore it's also ego, because he's also ego and shadow side, of course. And I did this as well with sugar, although I'm a year clear now. But I identified with being a postre girl. I used to call her a dessert girl. I wasn't just giving up sugar. I was giving up part of my identity, part of who I thought I was. So that could happen as well. And it was the same with alcohol. I didn't want to give alcohol up. I was like, no, it's boring. But no, it isn't boring for me. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just saying that that we do identify sometimes with those parts of our personality and our character. We kind of build a character around some of our addictions. He's about addictions. And I think this is about letting go of that egoic addiction. You don't have to be the person that does that anymore. I'm not Foster girl, and I'm going to affirm that I'm not Bread girl either. But this probably something is resonating with you somewhere along the line. There'll be something that you're consuming, and it came up in last month's messages, actually February's messages. It came up about knowing that there's something that we shouldn't be consuming and we're still doing it, which is not a big deal. I said at the time, it's important not to beat yourself up, because if you beat yourself up, like every time you have a cigarette, a glass of wine, a piece of bread, then obviously that energy of beating yourself up is far more violent and damaging than the bread, the cigarette, or the glass of wine, or chocolate, or whatever it might be. But having said that, understanding that our frequency is rising, and that actually, do we really want that? Or is it just habits? I mean, this is the question, really, isn't it? Because when I gave up drinking, I used to come home from work on a Friday when I was still teaching, and I used to open a can of lager and just out of habit, and then I would take a sip and it tasted disgusting. I thought the lager was off. It wasn't. It was my taste didn't want it anymore. But I did that for a few weeks, and I was wasting a lot of cans of lager because I was like, this is what I do. This is who I am. It's Friday. I open a can of lager. And it was like the universe was saying to me, well, you don't anymore, do you? Have a green tea. Leave the job. Do this, do that. Got to follow the universe. So listen to the universe. Don't listen to your habits. I think what's happening is on this new journey, which is glorious and spiritually guided, with the spring in our step and the song in our heart, this new journey, those habits don't have a place there. Okay. But you don't have to force yourself or, discipline yourself with force and what have you. We can do it with love. We can do it with love. It's because we love ourselves. And it's because we don't need it. We only think we do. And if you think you do, you will create it. So it's about starting to believe and to think and to affirm that, I love myself. So I feed myself with nourishing foods and beverages. That's a nice one, isn't it? I love myself. Therefore, I feed myself with nourishing foods and beverages. Okay, I love myself. Therefore, I nourish myself with healthy foods and beverages. I don't know, it's just one that we could use maybe. And I think also for me personally, and it might resonate with you, there's a thing about quantity as well, not just quality. I think there's something about quantity, and I don't just mean food. Although food as well, because as we raise our frequency, we do need less food. I mean, that's just an energetic thing. We're getting more energy from the universe. We're getting more energy from our life force, especially if you're spending time in nature, practicing yoga, you're doing your breath work, you're doing the inner work. We actually need less food to nourish us, because we're nourishing our souls, we're nurturing our souls, and our souls will nourish our physical bodies. So there's a little thing about quantity as well with the food and the drink, but also with everything else, because it's that non-attachment again, isn't it? And that greed, which came up before. The greed came up before. Why are we seeing greed in the outside world? Because there's still parts of us taking more than we need, whether it be food or belongings, materialistic stuff, anything else. So yeah, it's a little bit of a reminder, isn't it, today? There's a little bit of a reminder of quite a few of the previous videos. But it is a powerful reminder because, as I said, they are all major arcanic cards. You have the first one, and this is the second major arcana card. We really are on a new journey. You really are on a new journey. You are really on a new timeline, a new spiritual journey, and it's creating heaven on earth, because heaven on earth is not a place. It is a level of consciousness, and you're there creating it. You are right there creating heaven on earth. And for that, I thank you. And I love you. And see you in the next video. Bye for now.